Repetition with consequences. Violence against women is a worldwide problem. Gender inequity is historical, and it has social and health consequences. At least 1 out of 3 women around the world has been beaten, coerced into sex, or otherwise abused in her lifetime. Perhaps it is the most pervasive human rights violation that we know today. It devastates lives, fractures communities, and stalls development. Women and girls are particularly vulnerable to violence in deeply perverse ways. Inequity on the power relations between women and men often create dynamics where women are more vulnerable to HIV infection and less able to negotiate or insist on safer sex. In 2007, nearly half of all adults from the 33 million people living with HIV in the world are women. In all continents, girls and young women represent an even larger proportion of people living with HIV. Violence against women, be it physical or psychological or both, has dire life-threatening consequences. While violence against women and girls can lead to HIV transmission, violence also follows infection, as HIV-positive women and girls become easy targets for discrimination and other human rights violations. Gender inequality lies in the heart of each of these, wreaking havoc on women's health, well-being, and rights. In no country in the world are women safe from violence, nor safe of getting infected by HIV. Gender inequality and harmful gender norms are still the major barriers to achieving universal access to HIV prevention, treatment, care, and support. Meanwhile, levels of funding for women's rights work remain minimal. The waiting must end. After a long journey working in the fight against violence and HIV/AIDS, non-governmental organizations, women's groups, and constituencies from all regions of the world have come together to speak loudly against both violence and AIDS through the campaign Women Won't Wait. End HIV and violence against women now. The campaign was launched in many countries, including Uganda, Malawi, Nigeria, Sierra Leone, Kenya, Haiti, Guatemala, Brazil, Argentina, Puerto Rico, and Nepal. In Sierra Leone, public awareness campaigns and strategic lobbying has led to the speedy enactment of 3 drafted bills, in circulation since 2004. Registration of customary marriages and divorce, interstate succession, and domestic violence bills. These actions have potentially changed the landscape of women's human rights in Sierra Leone. In Brazil, the campaign called attention from more than 400 governments and non-governmental organizations in the whole country. It promoted 2 national seminars and published the first Brazilian book about violence and AIDS. The campaign was publicized at the Commission of Status of Women and at the UNGAS AIDS 2008 review in the United Nations. It developed many activities at the 17th International AIDS Conference in Mexico. We urge countries to strengthen the health and legal sector responses to violence and all human rights violations related to HIV and AIDS, including but not limited to violence, stigma, and discrimination. We want concrete targets on the elimination of violence against women and girls as part of the Universal Access Agenda. And we want to see it in the HIV budgets, national plans, programming, and monitoring and evaluation processes. Women won't wait. End HIV and violence against women, now.
Gamna, yeah. Samia uma, ankara bila uma. Samia uma, kabong bila uma. Samia uma, dagbong bila uma. Samia uma, kabong bila uma. Talika tukombia marinya tabioy. Nentalika tukombia marfatariay. Nentalika tukombia marinya tabioy. Nentalika tukombia marfatariay. The music chat international, nothing by intention. Better fuck my son teach persecution. The man like a lead soldiers afro. The manly music chat international, nothing by intention. Better fuck my son. Diggy diggy down. Better fuck my son.